Good morning, everyone, and welcome to our very first episode of our video devotions called Anchored. My name is Shelley Power. I am the Executive Director of Hope Center Ministries, and I am excited to be able to connect with you in this way today. Maybe you're not aware, but we provide spiritual care and belonging for individuals who live with disabilities, and as many other agencies, we have had to recently stop and halt all programming. That means that we've had to stop having fellowship time, we've had to stop sharing Bible stories, and we've had to just stop being together. And for many individuals with disabilities, not only is anxiety on the rise, but that feeling of isolation is now compounded by the directive to self-isolate. And so we thought that we could start these days with a practice that in a way draws us together as community. This won't be community that we can see. I really wish that I could see your faces coming back at me. This is going to be just a different version, and this is our new normal for a while. One of our program participants shared with me how hard it is, all of these rules that are now telling us to stay away from each other, and just really requested that somehow we find a way to still talk about the Bible and to help each other feel safe and calm through opening God's Word together. Bible study for many of our participants is something that really anchors them. They draw hope from and enjoy fellowshipping with others. And I know that I do too, that is a meaningful practice that I have. And so we thought, let's make use of our modern technology and let's see if we couldn't just put together some of our object lessons and lessons that we have done at many different programs such as Serve, Sunday evening, or our Bible studies, and can we just share them and challenge one another to share hope with each other, the hope that comes when we open God's Word together. So I have set up this table, and I am looking forward to doing many different object lessons with you. Let's get started. Okay, let's get anchored. Let's get prepared for the day that lies in front of us. Let's take some time in all of our different places to just focus, to come together in this online way, and to gain strength from moments spent with God. I don't know how you get ready for your day. I can only speak for myself, and I know that often I think through, what does my day hold, and what do I need to have with me in order to be prepared? And I will admit to you that in the last couple of days, with all the uncertainty that's happening around me, there is something that is coming into my day that I don't like bringing with me. There is something that has been following me along, and this something is fear. Fear, that feeling of being scared. Maybe if I were to ask you, hey, what scares you? Maybe before this whole talk of COVID-19, you would have all kinds of other answers for me. Maybe it would be spiders. Maybe it would be monsters. Maybe it would be certain kinds of movies or thunderstorms. But I know that in the last couple of days, the fear level in most of us has risen. And so I thought that I would start here in our Being Anchored series. Fear. Fear is strong. Fear is powerful. And if we let fear grow in our lives, it becomes stronger than we are. I want to use this as a demonstration. This water bottle is not strong. This water bottle all by itself represents me, Shelley. And when Shelley meets fear with nothing else, something happens. When I have no tools, when I have brought nothing with me to approach this fear surrounds me. This fear gets a hold of me, and this fear has the power to do this to me. I'm not a very strong person, and I'm able to, with one hand, just crush this. Fear can do that for me. But we don't want to allow fear to have that kind of power or control over us. And so anchored is also going to be a way of kind of coming against that fear, being prepared, knowing how to talk back to that fear, knowing how to gain more strength so that we don't end up crushed by it. And it starts here, which is why we've suggested this as a practice of daily and morning devotions as we head into our day. Daily reminders of things that we can take with us, things that will help us to battle this fear. Now, I have another water bottle, and this one represents more closely how I want to be. And I have just put on strips of paper different stories from the Bible that have helped me remember God's promises and what I need to remember when I'm feeling overwhelmed by fear. There are other people in the Bible who have also felt fear. My goodness, Moses, he had to approach Pharaoh. He had to lead the Israelites. Joshua, the walls of Jericho, all of the different battles that he needed to go into, and also to lead God's people. And David, King David, I mean, we love the story of when he was able to bring the giant down, when Goliath fell down. But there were so many stories of David hiding in the hills because he was afraid for his life. And then we have Jesus' own disciples who got to see Jesus up close, who got to be with Jesus and witness his power. And then Jesus told them that he was going. And over and over and over again, we hear a message from God. To Moses, when Moses dared say to God, God, today I feel fear, God spoke back to Moses and said, I will go with you. When Joshua, we don't read that he said, God, I'm scared, but he must have let that feeling be known. He must have shown some fear because God over and over again says, Joshua, be bold, be courageous, do not fear, I am with you. David wrote about his feelings, and he wrote a lot about the fear that he felt. And in the Psalms, he would say, I looked for God, and I found him. He's my refuge. He's my strength. I don't need to fear. And he used those words to tell himself that truth over and over again. And then we hear the words of Jesus. And I want us to hear these words today. As he was leaving his disciples, Jesus said, in this world, you are going to have trouble. In this world, you are going to feel fear. But remember, I have overcome the world. And so you don't need to stay in that place of fear. I have overcome the world. And as he was leaving them, he blessed them, which means he gave them his power. And he said, I am giving you peace. My peace. I'm giving it to you. I want to leave this with you. And my peace is like no other peace. So don't be afraid. Don't be anxious. And know that I will be with you wherever you go. And so when days that come that include lots of this, when there are things out of our control and we start feeling those feelings of fear, we can face it with those promises. And I can't crush this with those promises. I can't destroy this as easily as I could this. Without those promises, I'm so quickly overtaken by fear. But with those promises locked up in me, I